Before I get started, I'd just like to congratulate Tobias. 15 points last night. I think it was a team high. Thought he did a really good job. It's fun to see him have success. Wonderful young man. He's done a lot for our program in such a short period of time, so really happy for him. Thought our guys did a good job against Florida. Probably our best effort all season against a very talented opponent on both ends of the floor. Executing offensively, defending at a high level, executing defensively as well. Thought we played hard, competed, got the ball inside, made big plays, and more than anything, sustained those blows. They're their type of team, and even our scouting report, they can reel off 12 quick points on you in transition, shooting threes, attacking the rim. And I thought we did a good job of really slowing those guys down and making them work for catches, extending their offense. Probably our best effort all season, switching in ball screens and making those adjustments. So I thought it was a great team effort. It had a great atmosphere as well.
So do you have anywhere from the SEC office on Darnell yet?
He's actually cleared, and today will be his first day of practice.
He's cleared to play?
Yes.
How motivated do you think Holland McCray worked coming off the bench?
I like to think more than anything, just being ready to play. As far as the motivation, they had 14 games to be motivated to play basketball. But you're also talking about two guys that are very talented players that didn't play a lot of basketball last season. So just to be hungry to play basketball more than anything, whether or not you start them, it's also who's finishing the game.
Florida's bench, they had 47 minutes and 1 point. How important do you think it was that their bench didn't contribute anything this week?
Well, I think when you look at their bench, they're solid role guys. I think Rosario is the one guy that really scores for them off the bench. Other guys put backs, transition baskets, diving off ball screen, but he's the one guy off the bench that really makes plays for them, and I think he only played 2 minutes. But they're starters that give the bulk of their offense on most given nights.
Will you stick with the same lineup against Mississippi State?
Indeed, unless somebody get injured. Unless somebody get injured or have a really couple of days of bad practice, but I don't see that happening.
You said Stokes would play against Mississippi State. Any idea?
No, I don't know. He's eligible to play.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I think more than anything with John Nelson, a matter of when we feel he's ready physically to play. Because he's so far removed from playing, 5-on-5 contact, physical, cutting, running, jumping. So when we feel he's ready to play, we'll make that decision.
Does he feel he's ready to play?
Oh, he's been ready to play. But once again, it's my job as a coach to put him in the best situation to be successful.
In addition to the physical part, what about the mental part, just learning your terminology, your system, and stuff like that? How big an adjustment will that be for him?
We brought him in with a couple other guys to go over some of the terminology, some of the things that we do offensively and defensively. But it's really one day at a time. We'll try to simplify a lot of things for him. And I think the most important thing for him is to demand the basketball and also play as hard as he can play. But we'll never put him in situations where he's not successful. And we'll shorten the plays, which we probably only ran about 4 plays against Florida, because really with our motion offense, our ball screen offense, we try to stay away from running a lot of set plays, and just in case we'll run them if we need them. But we'll put them in situations where you don't have to remember a lot of plays early.
With the kind of player he is, do you see major changes in how you will approach each game?
Well, I think so when he's ready to play. Because he's a guy, power forward type of guy. He can step out and make shots. He can score on the blocks. So just really having the right pieces on the floor at the right time is the most important thing. You can also move Ronaldo in some situations to the small forward position with Jarnell being out there.
I think you talked about seeing how your guys handle different situations, playing big time teams, playing teams that aren't maybe so big time, and playing from behind, from behind. Are you interested to see now how they handle some success and a big win like that on Saturday?
Well, I think so. I think really with us, what we talk about, it's a different ball game on the road, especially in the first 10 minutes of the game. You have to kind of set the tone, how you play. You got to move the ball. At home, it's 1 or 2 passes in a shot. On the road, it's maybe 4 or 5 passes, and really executing your offense to make those guys work. Because most home teams play off rhythm. They play off runs, quick shots. They get transition baskets. So we really have to make those guys bogged down and defend for a long time.
Do you think that beating Florida like that helps the team buy in defensively? Because obviously you had to play good defense to win it. Do you think that's a good buy-in?
I think, you know, and I struggle with the buy-in part because it's either or. I think you having a desire, because I don't think the guys will say, well, Coach, I'm not defending. I don't think they defended at a level they needed to defend at, or I don't think some guys took pride in defending. But I think buying in, I think the guys have really bought in and been very receptive and very responsive to what we're doing. And I don't, like I said, I don't get caught up in buying either or, so you have to make a decision, or I'll make it for you.
What do you know about Mississippi State?
Very talented. D's a quick point guard. He's physical. He scores it at 6'2", gets to the rim, shoots the three-point shot. Moultrie, you know, demands a double team on the blocks. Physical presence. One of those deals, you have to get him off the blocks. You can't let him get in the rhythm. But even still, when the shot goes up, you got to keep him off the glass. And then you're talking about one of the most talented guys in Sydney on the floor. A great 3-point, 7 for 12 from the three-point line, can score on the blocks, really pass the basketball. Just they have so many weapons. And Rodney Hood, I've seen him play a lot of AAU basketball. He's just as talented as a young guard in the country at 6'8".
And they had DeVille Smith got 24 against Arkansas.
Talented. I saw him in high school quite a bit. You know, they have a lot of pieces, a lot of weapons. But once again, it's not letting those guys get into a rhythm or comfort zone.
They played fast-paced with Arkansas. Was that because of Arkansas, or does Mississippi State like to go fast-paced?
Mississippi State wants to run. I think they probably run a little bit more when Sydney's out of the game. When Sydney's in the game, they want to pound inside to him and get him into the floor offensive. But they'll definitely run.
Do you have any sort of relationship or history with Rick Stansbury? 14 years now, it's just a long time. You know,
Not at all. Outside of watching his teams play, I've never coached against him, or even as assistant coach, no.
You talk about what Josh brings to the lineup, and particularly the progress he's made the last few weeks that got him this shot.
Well, I think he's done it from day one as far as his approach. But I thought there was a spurt that maybe in 2 weeks he wasn't at the level we thought he should have been at, you know, playing hard, competing and defending at the level I thought. But he continued to work, continued to compete. But I don't think it was a question that he's earned it. This is not a situation to get somebody else motivated to play. He's earned his way, and it's his job to lose.
You talked about the patience on offense the other day. Can you talk about how that led into your maybe playing better defense, not taking so many quick shots, and guys, you know, when the shot didn't go up, you had guys where they're supposed to be on offense to get back. How, you know, just talk about it all working together. It seemed like, you know, the transition points were at a real minimum.
Well, I think sometimes when you run a motion offense, it leads to quick shots. It also leads to a guy with the ball in his hand has to make a decision with the basketball. Most of the time when you run set plays, you know what plan A, B, and C is. With a motion offense, there's a lot of reads. So you have to be able to make good decisions with the basketball. And I think for us, we did a really good job, probably our best job all season, of really handling pressure, putting the ball in position to score in the right guy's hands, and also making good decisions with the basketball. And that helps with our transition defense. But with quick shots, you know, teams get down your back, especially a team like this, the way they score and the way they shoot the ball. You don't want quick shots to lead to their quick outlets.
You said going into the Florida game, the two keys were transition defense and ball screen defense. Did you feel like you did really well in those two areas?
Thought probably did our best job all season in those two areas, transition defense and ball screen defense. But once again, when you take good shots and you're patient on offense, that's the result. And once again, when I say good shots, I don't think our guys are really taking bad shots, because it's my job as a coach to allow guys to play with freedom. But there's a fine line with freedom and also being aware of the situations and not just shooting the ball because you're open. Sometimes there's a reason why you're open.
You talked a lot about that home court suspended the other day. Is that, can you just talk about getting your team to show that kind of protective attitude? Because, I mean, they played with a lot more confidence, and it just seemed like they were in fact playing for something. When you don't have a lot of veterans that have been in that situation, how do you kind of get them to appreciate what it takes?
We're just going through it more than anything. 'Cause I can talk about it all day long. We can talk about it as a staff all day long. But I think you have to go through it and have a sense of pride of who you're playing for. Obviously, you represent your family, but they play for the University of Tennessee, and I think that is the most important thing they have to understand. That's who they play for. and that's what they represent. And if you do that, you don't worry about all the other things, because ultimately the bottom line is winning games, and I think they did that.
Guys, you mentioned playing on the road earlier. Why do you think you guys have struggled with that this year?
I think inexperience and just really going through it. Because it's a different type of play on the road. Not that you change your style of your system, but it's a mindset that you play with on the road. Once again, 1 or 2 passes at home, it's a good shot. On the road, 4 or 5 passes. Because I think the first 10 minutes of road games, you have to kind of set the tone. In the second half, when you're in the game, you're executing your offense, you'll be fine. I didn't think we did a good job our last road game against Memphis. I thought in the second half, first of all, we didn't do a good job of scoring. Then I think we broke down defensively. And you have to give those guys credit for that. But it's a certain way you play and a certain mindset you have to have on the road.
Do you coach it all differently on the road?
Not at all, not at all. I think once again, it's really our guys understanding and the importance of a road game. The score can be 50 to 51. That's a win. It doesn't have to be 90 to 88. Exciting. You have to be able to grind that thing out on the road. You have to make it ugly for the home team because they want to play it exciting. They want to get up and down. The fans want to see a show. So from that standpoint, you have to slow that thing down and make those guys work.